Hey guys, three-person show coming back from Thanksgiving break to talk all things Patriots and Titans. But if you wanted to hear our 10 questions around the league segment, week 12 edition, definitely tune in here. This is the clip for it. We go over stadiums, we go over Aaron Rodgers, we go over second football teams in cities even. There's a lot in store, so check it out. Here we go. All right, moving on to 10 questions here. We get to kind of go around the league with a bunch of different questions, some draft-related, some city-related, and we will post the clip as its own separate thing, which you guys are actually watching right now. So, question number 1, Jordan, you get to start. Rank your top 3 players from the 2021 draft. That would be this year's draft, the one that just happened.
Number 3, I'm going to go with Micah Parsons. He has been unbelievable, both as a pass rusher and run stuffer. Basically, he's come as advertised. Everyone talked about how great his defensive instincts are, and he has proven that to a T. I thought it maybe would have taken him a little bit longer. I'm not saying he would have struggled out of the gate, but I didn't think he'd be this dominant this fast. Number 2, I have Mac Jones. It's a quarterback league. He's not turning the ball over. He's got almost 3,000 yards already, which is kind of hard to believe to an extent, but through 12 games, 16 touchdowns, 8 picks, 2,850 yards, an incredibly high completion rate. And then number 1, I have Jamar Chase. 50 catches, 900 yards in 11 games. He's got 8 touchdowns already. He has been the every bit a game changer as he was advertised as. Even though, still think since he maybe should have gone tackle there, but Chase is absolutely dominating right now over there.
Kyle, your 3.
I had the same 3, just in different orders.
So who'd you go with number 1?
So for number 3, I had Mac. Because I think that, he's having a solid season. Like, he's doing enough to win. He hasn't been great. He's been decent. He's been solid. He's been exactly what the Pats have needed. And he's been kind of just, like I've said a lot, he's kind of filled that Jimmy Garoppolo role where he gets the ball to his weapons and lets them do their thing. And that's really all I needed from Mac this year. And he's doing a fantastic job of that. And he's definitely looking like the best and the most polished of all the rookies. Will that be the same 5 years down the road? Who knows? But right now is the only thing that matters. And right now the Pats are in second. They basically could be in first. I don't know. Well, they obviously aren't in first. But they're pretty close to being first in the AFC with a rookie as their quarterback. So clearly he's doing something right. Number 2, I have Jamar Chase. Like you said, I will say that one thing I was right about was I said, I think Jamar Chase is going to go off early on in the season and then fade off. I was right about him going off. He did not fade off, though. He has been absolutely fantastic.
You don't know. You still might.
Well, no, but I remember week 1, I picked the Bengals to win week 1, I'm pretty sure, and I said, Jamar Chase is going to get like he's going to get like a deep bomb touchdown, and everyone's going to be like, see, that's why it didn't take so well, and then he was going to fall off. But no, he's continued to be consistently very good. I definitely think that they did make the right choice because they have a gamer now. I don't think that they're in the same position. I mean, sure, you take a tackle and, Joe Burrow's a little bit more protected. He's not getting sacked as much, but like their offensive line has honestly been fine this year. I mean, Joe Mixon has a touchdown in all of his last games dating back to, I think, like week 4, including multiple 2-touchdown games. Samaje Perine, the backup running backs, having a great season. Joe Burrow.
I knew you were going to find a way to bring him into this.
Well, the reason why I'm bringing him into it is, Mixon's also a Sooner guy, but
yeah.
There was a graphic that showed that he's 4th in the league amongst backup running backs and rushing yards this year. So I was like, hey, good for him. For a guy who was literally, I think he's been in the league for, I want to say 5 years, 4 years now.
Hey, he's been kicking around a bunch of teams,
was
too.
Literally not used at any point in his first 3 years. Like, probably played like 2 or 3 games. He was able to just stick around, and then he finally got to a team that wanted him, and he's been fantastic as their backup. And he's come in when they needed him last year, even with Giovanni Bernard. But enough about him. As much as I love Pirine, his jersey's sitting over here on the ground next to me. His OU jersey, of course. And then number 1, I have Micah Parsons. I mean, he is just a game wrecker. He is just absolutely he's. I said that I don't even know if he was even on a podcast. I don't even know if I even said it to you guys. But what I wanted them to do, and I think this was probably before Kyle Trask had his meltdown against Oklahoma, I wanted them to take Parsons in the first round and Trask in the second round because, just watching Parsons highlights and watching him play in college, he was electric, and I knew that was just going to transfer over well. And he has been, as advertised as you said, Jordan, he's just been an absolute tank. And the Dallas Cowboys probably have the best pick in the draft right now.
I think that if we were to redraft this year right now, yeah, Trevor Lawrence would probably still go number 1, and then Micah Parsons would go number 2. He's my number 1. I actually have a big fatty, Rashawn Slater, the left tackle for the Chargers, has performed very admirably for Justin Herbert at number 2, and I put it as actually a tie. I think Waddle and Chase combined both been very good. Waddle underrated, 200 less receiving yards, but 27 more catches than Jamar Chase.
With a much worse quarterback.
That's exactly what I was going to say. He's only got 4 touchdowns, but he's been used more than Chase has. Chase has been there for the big deep bomb, and he's got T. Higgins. He's got Tyler Boyd. Will Fuller's been he's just been so hit or miss. I think he's hurt again right now. Devontae Parker is always hurt as well. Waddle's doing it all with Tua as his quarterback for the suddenly resurgent Dolphins. I believe he does deserve a little bit of love in this conversation when it comes to Offensive Rookie of the Year.
He also has 3 tackles.
Yes, actually, I did see that. You're looking at Pro Football Reference too,
yes,
right?
I am.
I was looking at that earlier
He has 2 more
today.
tackles than Jamar Chase.
Yeah, exactly. Interesting. Maybe it's because his quarterback was throwing picks to him.
Yeah, probably.
All right, moving on to question number 2. Kyle, give me one rule change that you think would improve the game.
Nice. I get to go first on this one because I feel like someone
I'm
might
very
have
interested to see
mine.
what we all say with this.
I would get rid of the fumbling out of the back of the end zone as a touchback rule. I don't really know what I'd replace it with, but I hate that rule so much. Mostly in like a petty way.
The Austin
because, like,
Safarian Jenkins rule.
Because
And the N'Keal Harry rule.
And the I think was it DPJ on the Browns last year? I don't remember who fumbled.
Rashard Higgins. In the
It was
playoff
Higgins
game.
who
In the
fumbled.
playoff game, right?
I didn't remember. I didn't remember which. But like in that moment, I was like, God, that's such a dumb rule. I remember when it happened to N'Keal Harry. I was like, oh, what the hell? We got all the way down there. Like what the, like. Words. I think that what it should do is it should put you as a touchback, unless that would have had you gain yards, then it would push you back like a certain amount of points. But I don't feel like it shouldn't go to the other team because you fumble it out of bounds in any other place and it's still that team's ball. Obviously, the way that they did it is because since it's in the end zone, it's like, well, what are we gonna do? You can't
like
give
a
it
punt
as a touchdown, you know. So there has to be some way that they can make it so that it's not like that.
Make it like a 10-yard
dumb.
penalty. Or like
I
a
mean,
5-yard
there are a
penalty.
bunch of solutions that we could do to this one. Mine is actually interesting. I wanted to go outside the box and not take an onside kick rule. So I'm going to change it. I'm going to go with all DB hand fighting rules. I want them completely overhauled. I want PI back to 15 yards, and I also want holding an illegal contact not to be an automatic first down. I want them to be 5 yards, not an automatic first down. 3rd and 10 on a hold should not be a first down. I hate that. I think that's dumb because it often feels like teams get bailed out by these like phantom holding calls, or even if it is a holding call, it's 5 yards. Why do you deserve to get a first down on 3rd and 10? That doesn't make any sense to me. That's stupid. Make it so that way it's 5 yards and no automatic first down. I think that would be a good rule. It would force teams to try and, defenders would have a little bit more leeway, first of all. I think PI, spot foul, has just ruined the game because wide receivers can buy PI flags, and I think that's the dumbest thing in the world. Jordan.
Yeah, I went with more of a basic one that's just incredibly annoying. Get rid of the taunting penalty. Like
Oh,
seriously,
thank God. Yes, absolutely.
I saw a tweet a couple weeks ago that was hilarious. It was like, "Hey, at NFL, I saw Tyreek Hill point to the defensive back, and now my 3-year-old son's addicted to drugs." I was like, thanks, clean this up. I think you sent it.
I saw one of those last week, or for this past weekend. It was because Kendrick Bourne quickly flashed a peace sign as he scored his second touchdown, and someone said, "Great, my son saw this, and now he's addicted to crack. Thank you, at NFL."
Like, nobody wanted this penalty to be a thing. Like, I don't know why the NFL has implemented it. It's just, like, why? Get rid of it. Let players just get hyped up when they make big plays and don't penalize them 15 yards.
I think
now, if they do with what Cam Newton did after he got his first touchdown against Arizona, where he takes his helmet off and he's like screaming
should
into
be
the
a flag.
camera, that's a flag. But like,
Yeah.
if you point at somebody, like, really, like
It's gotten to the
it's
point
not
where
an
we're
obscene
giving
gesture.
refs too much power to try and decide whether or not something is excessive, and oftentimes they go way over the line, so it's got to stop. I'm okay with a taunting penalty being in place. Like, I think there are some celebrations that merit that, but too many are getting flagged this year, and I think we can all agree on that, because 15 free yards is just ridiculous. All right, question number 3, and I get to start on this one. With the current playoff picture as it stands, I think we can all agree that there are 5 teams in the NFC that stand basically apart from the rest, even though one might be falling back to the pack a little bit more. So obviously, one of them isn't making it to divisional weekend. One's going to get a bye, but one of them's going to get eliminated in the first round of the playoffs. So who's it going to be? And obviously the teams are Dallas, Tampa Bay, Green Bay, the Rams, and the Cardinals. I had to pick a team to get eliminated in the first round, and I'm going to take Arizona. They're the team that has yet to be there and done that of the 4 teams. So I'm going to take them simply for the fact that I think Kingsbury's terrible coaching record will catch up to him in a big playoff game. I think he's going to kind of wet himself. It's nothing that Kyler will do. I think he's still immensely talented. As long as that ankle holds up, he'll be fine. I worry about health with the Cardinals, and I worry about their coach. And I think those are 2 big reasons to pick against them in a playoff game right now. Jordan.
My preseason Super Bowl pick. Goodbye, Los Angeles Rams. These guys stink right now. Matthew Stafford, literally, what I thought coming into the season was Matthew Stafford put up all these numbers on the Lions, and I was like, this is a huge test for him, but I think he's a talented quarterback. He should be fine. This is a lot of talent. Primetime games won't catch up to him. Great team. He can overcome it. No. He can't. He's 5-0 against he's like 6-0 against teams under 500 and like 2-4 against teams below 500 this year or whatever, something like that. He's been horrible in games against teams above 500, like to the point where he's getting blown out by the Niners in prime time. It's like it's really concerning, and I think in the playoffs, I think he could end up facing the Niners again, and I think the Niners could beat him, especially since the way Jimmy Garoppolo's been playing. They can put up some points. If Deebo Samuel's healthy, they can put up points, and I don't think the Rams will be able to keep up.
Kyle.
Too many mouths to feed.
Yeah, I had the Rams as well. I mean, they've already been embarrassed by 2 of the teams that we just named, that being the Cardinals and the Packers. Well, I guess not really by the Packers, but, I think that teams are starting to figure them out a little bit, because it looked like, from the little bits of that game that I was able to catch, it kind of looked like the Packers had really figured out how to, play against them just in the same way that the Niners did. It's almost like they had the same game plan. And I'm thinking that people are starting to kind of figure out how to beat the Rams. And, sure, they ended up getting close in that game. I think they kind of got bailed out by OBJ. But I think that, I think the Rams.
All right, Jordan. Moving along a little bit quicker now because we are starting to run a little short on time. Permanently change one part of the Patriots uniform and tweak it.
Taking the home uniform and just making the pants gray again. It just looks too weird with it all blue.
Giant blueberries running around the field.
Yeah.
I agree. Kyle.
Red alternate.
Okay, that was definitely. I figured that one of us was going to say it. If Jacqueline was here, I'm sure she'd say it as well, because I'm pretty sure she's a big fan of the red alternate. I said white helmets, and I've gone back and forth.
I knew you were
going to
say that.
Exactly.
I actually wrote down not white helmets, red alternate, because I hate the white helmets, especially with the blue
I like
jerseys.
the white helmets. I like the white helmets. You can put the new Flying Elvis logos on there. Alternatively, because I knew Kyle would not like my white helmet idea, go back to the blue that they had with like Bledsoe and Brewski, with that kind of like Dodger blue. I think that would be nice, kind of go away from the Navy for a little bit and see how that works. It's just an idea. I just like the white helmets a lot. White helmets with white face masks, you're looking like the Bills with that Patriots logo on the side. It looks really cool. Jordan, I can send you an edit of that later.
You want to look like the Bills?
I think the Bills have some clean uniforms. They also have the red alternates, if you remember that as well. All right, moving on to question number 5. Kyle, what's your Green Bay do about Aaron Rodgers in the offseason?
Send him to the farm up north. I don't know.
So you still think that he should leave after the year?
Yeah, I think that the optics with all the ish that he's done, and all the stuff that he put this team through, I wouldn't be surprised if they let him go. Also because I think right now the Packers are probably the Super Bowl favorite, and I think that if he wins the Super Bowl, then they're going to be like, all right, see you later.
This is how it ends. It's the last dance.
And I think that would be an amicable. And that would be an amicable way for them to do it. I think they probably trade him, or he has an opt out. I don't know how it would work, but I think that would be a good way for both sides to end. If they're like, all right, you know what, like we had our differences, but we're going out on top. We're gonna go our separate ways.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but they have to keep Aaron Rodgers after this year. And you know how much I hate Aaron Rodgers, but Lord, has he proven to pay dividends for this Packer organization time after time after time. We saw Jordan Love, albeit in a semi-unfair situation because he was in Kansas City, but he did have a full week of reps. Let's not forget, Rodgers tested positive, I think, Monday morning of that week. And Jordan Love got all the reps and still laid an absolute clunker against the Chiefs. So I think that you honestly have to keep him. You may have to go and acquiesce to some of his demands. Matt LaFleur could be out after this year. This could be one of the more wild off seasons in a city where they're just not used to drama. I mean, let's face it, it's dreary old Wisconsin up north. Like, all they have to worry about is if their cheese curds have spoiled or not. Like, this is going to be insane.
Because nothing dramatic has happened in Wisconsin this year.
That's a good point, actually. What am I saying? Jordan.
I actually have a team to trade him to. I think they should capitalize on desperation and trade him to the New York Football Giants.
I like that. I thought you said Russell Wilson was going there as well.
I did, but I have changed my mind. I think the Giants are desperate enough to take the bigger. No, I mean they're going to trade
both of them in the room.
Yeah, like they're both in the room. But I think trade him. You get Daniel Jones back. He's better than Jordan Love, and you also probably get 2 first-round picks and maybe another player. I think that's a pretty solid return for a 39-year-old. I think he'll be at the time, especially since he's also a grade A diva. And I like the idea of him staying in a big market. I don't like the idea of him going to like Denver. And I think the Niners are kind of out of the question.
For him.
Vegas could be interesting, but I think they love Derek Carr there. I think they love him enough to the point where they might want to try and build around him a little better.
Personally, I don't think they do. I think they're going to try and make the splash, but it's interesting to see. Question number 6, which team needs a new quarterback the most? You could have answered Packers here. I did not. I'm going to shout out Pat here. The Steelers need a new quarterback. Man, do they blow. Oh, man. I mean, that drubbing against the Bengals should say it all. That team sucks with Roethlisberger. He's absolutely cooked. He looks pudgy and fat in that uniform. Get him out of Pittsburgh and get a new quarterback.
It's a shame that there weren't any good quarterbacks in this draft class available
Seriously.
when Ben Roethlisberger could have easily just retired.
Yep,
that
exactly.
might legitimately be the worst quarterback room in football.
Help out
character-wise and play and performance-wise, just the worst quarterback room.
Help out Pat. Help out Davis, Kevin Colbert, and get the Steelers a new quarterback. Jordan.
Listen, this again.
Malik Lewis season.
My pick is because they are a Super Bowl team outside of the quarterback position, Cleveland Browns. I don't think Baker Mayfield is the guy that can lead them to a Super Bowl. It's not even a Baker dig.
No,
I think
right.
He's like probably still top 18 in the league. I know he's hurt, but 3 seasons out of his 4, he's been sub 55 QBR. I think they need a better quarterback to win. There's too many players on it. Too many of his teammates' dads are calling him out on Facebook. Man, I just think they need to get real and realize that they need a better quarterback to win it. Everything else on their team is Super Bowl ready. I don't think he is.
Kyle,
put Baker on the Giants. Let's see what happens. Give him Sterling Shepard again. I'd love it. No, for me. Wait, which question are we on? The Broncos. I love the Broncos roster. They have such a fun roster. They've got a really bunch of solid players on their defense. Like, I love Patrick Surtain. Great pick 6 last week. I love a lot of their offensive weapons, but Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater both stink.
Yes,
apparently,
they do.
Apparently, Kendall Hinton is now being used as I saw his name again because apparently
the emergency guy.
Yeah, Bridgewater's hurt, and Locke might not. Like they said, if Locke gets hurt, Hinton is the backup. So,
well, stop going back to this guy.
This is real Julian Edelman emergency QB situation for the Broncos again.
Seriously.
Yeah.
All right, question number 7. Troy Aikman on the broadcast for Packers and Rams called Robert Woods a top 3 wideout in the NFL, and I don't think any of us agree with that. But that begs the question, who are your top 3 wideouts? Jordan?
This is going to be in no order, and I'm going to name 4. I know it says top 3, but
Okay.
I think they're really interchangeable. No order, Tyreek Hill, DeAndre Hopkins, Devontae Adams, and Justin Jefferson. Those are my top 3. Like it's like 1A, 1B, I think, with Jefferson and Hopkins, and then the other 2 fill it out. Jefferson, there's no wide receiver in the league that can do what Justin Jefferson does. I think.
Kyle.
Number 3, I have Diggs. Number 2, I have Hopkins. Number 1, I have Devontae Adams.
Devontae Adams, far and away, in my opinion, the best wide receiver in football. Stephon Diggs, number 2, and unfortunately, Tyreek Hill, number 3. It'd be ironic if I could put him lower on that list because he sustains an injury. All right, question number 8. What team do you want to face the least in the playoffs? And we'll do this both ways. What place do you not want to travel to, first of all, if you're the Patriots? And what team do you not want coming in here? Kyle.
Kansas City. Kansas City knows how to beat us here. They're looking a lot better now. I think in the last 3 trips that they've had here, they're, I believe they're 1-2, or no, 2-1 or 2-0. Maybe in the last 2. I don't remember. I
think we faced them in Kansas City last year, so they've won their last one that they've been here for. They're on a 1-game winning streak.
But they
Oh,
also
yes,
beat
with
us
Alex
with Alex
Smith
Smith.
in 26. Yes, you're right.
So they're
you're
2-0
right.
in their last 2 trips to Foxborough.
No, because
one.
Patriots
2-1.
won. Yeah, the Patriots won in 2018.
Okay,
43-40.
in the play.
Yeah.
David Price pitched in Game 2 that night as well. Jordan was at that game.
Yeah, I was.
I watched that game alone. I was flipping back and forth, Red Sox and Patriots. So, Kyle, you say Kansas City for both?
Yeah, because I wouldn't want them have them come here because they know how to beat us. And then I would also just the idea of Mac Jones having his first playoff game being Kansas City, good riddance.
I agree. I don't want to go to Kansas City in whatever round. Forget that AFC Championship game. You have to go to Arrowhead to get to the Super Bowl. I don't like my odds there. In terms of teams that I don't want coming in.
I don't like my odds, but if you got that far, whatever. With
fair.
a rookie quarterback.
Team I don't want coming in is definitely Tennessee. Derrick Henry would be healthy by that point if they made it there. You still have Tannehill and A.J. Brown. Talk about a guy who knows how to win here. Mike Vrabel. I mean, the Titans should not have hung in that game as long as they did on Sunday, let alone a playoff game, and he's done that already. I'm going to take the Titans for that pick. Jordan.
Yeah, this sucks because those were my two.
I'm sorry.
I don't like the idea of Mac Jones going into Kansas City. I don't think he'd necessarily suck, but you definitely that's definitely the hardest matchup, I think, is going into Arrowhead, especially since the Chiefs defense has played a lot better lately. And then, yeah, Derrick Henry will be healthy if they come here. So will A.J. Brown. So will Julio Jones. You didn't see any of them on Sunday, and you have the game. I mean, I'm sure they'd hold up well against at least one of those receivers, but
Probably Julio.
All right, question number 9. What sports city deserves a second football team like New York, like LA? And I believe I get to start on this one. Chicago. Get that city a second football team so they can stop having to look at the sorry existence that is the Chicago Bears. I mean, God, that franchise just blows, doesn't it? From top to bottom, they just suck. They're going to be on the thumbnail for this clip part of it, and it's going to be second football team? ? Because, man, Chicago really could deserve one. Jordan.
I am going to
I get to
go
go
with.
last.
You see, it's kind of a cop out. I'm saying Nevada because I'm thinking Reno. Like, keep them in gambling areas. Like, that would be the perfect place to put another team. Would be in the Nevada, Las Vegas, Reno area, somewhere in there. Do that.
All right. Kyle, wrap us up on this one.
Third New York City team.
Whoa. Okay, and why?
Because it would just be funny if they imagine if they just added another team in New York City, just into the fray. Like, it would just be absolute chaos because they'd obviously suck. Like,
No, they would. They would obviously suck.
And I'm saying, like, they'd be like separate. Like, they'd be kind of like the NYCFC, and they'd have like a stadium in the city somehow. Like, they'd play games like friggin' Yankee Stadium or something, and it would just be just absolute crap show, and it would be hilarious.
All right, and to finish it up here, Bills question. I did say we were going to talk about the Bills, so give me your favorite Bills game of all time. Bills Patriots, memory, game, whatever you want. What do you remember most fondly about playing the Buffalo Bills? Jordan, you get to start here, and I get to finish.
Vince Wilfork absolutely murdering somebody in pass coverage like maybe a decade ago. I don't remember who it was. Went up for like a screen pass. I think it was from Ryan Fitzpatrick, so that's even funnier. And Vince Wilfork just absolutely murdered him.
Love that. Kyle.
I could not really think of anything until I got this from like the recesses of my mind.
I like where this is going.
Matthew Slater's first career touchdown came against the Bills.
I didn't know that. Was it in 2009?
It was a blocked punt in 2019.
Oh, yes, you're
and
right.
He blocked the punt, or I don't know if he blocked it, but it was blocked, and he returned it for a touchdown. Brandon Bolden was there celebrating because that was when he was the special teams guy. And because I couldn't really think of a specific Bills moment, but I was like, wait, I love Matthew Slater, and I was really happy for him when he got that because he's like in the end zone. He's like, yeah, he looks like Brandy Chastain. He's like, oh my god, he's
Nice.
going nuts. So
And
gotta love that.
And my two Bills memories, one, 2009, Brady's first game back from his ACL. They were wearing the red alternates, I believe, and he led them on a comeback, 2 touchdowns in the final 2 minutes. Ben Watson, game-winning touchdown to beat the Bills 25-24, I believe.
Geriatric unit.
Yep, exactly. And then 2019, Saturday Night Football, Mike Tirico and Kurt Warner, I believe, were on the call, and that was the night the Patriots clinched the division for the final time with Brady and Belichick. Matt Lacoste caught a touchdown. It reaffirmed my hatred forever for Mohamed Sanu, and his terrible blocking ability caused a fumble, if I remember correctly. That was probably the last happy moment I had with Brady as a Patriot because they were really reeling after they had lost to the Steelers. They had I think they lost another No, it wasn't the Steelers that year, was it? I don't remember. But they were having some really, really
No,
tough.
they opened the season with a crushing win over the Steelers. That
Yes,
was the
yes.
we're down by 30
That's
moment.
true. Favorite Pat moment there of all time. That was a very tough December for the Patriots. They really struggled, but they did beat the Bills enough to secure the division and kept them at bay for one more year. I went into an overnight shift after that game ended from 10 to 6 in the morning, and I rode that high all the way to that 6 a.m. when I finished, clocked out, and then crashed. But that was a good game. I enjoyed that game immensely. Jordan.
Honorable mention, Brandon Bolden had a 137-yard rushing performance in his fourth career game against Buffalo. They won 52-28. That was right before he got popped for PEDs, so
Tough.
I wonder why.
where the 137 yards came from, but that was half of his rushing production for the season came in that game.
That's awesome. All right, that's going to do it for us. You can follow us on all of our social medias at Mass with Mikes, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Massholes with Mikes on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Thank you to Jordan. Thank you to Kyle for joining me. Enjoy the Thursday night game. I think the Patriots aren't playing yet until Monday, so our schedule may be a little bit wonky for the rest of the week. We will get back to you when we get back to you. Thank you guys for tuning in, whether it be on the clip, whether it be on the main episode. Check out the main episode if you're watching the clip, and we will see you guys again next time. Thank you very much, and have a good day.